WFMT that are both tax smart and convenient. Did you know you can include WFMT
Here's Johnny. Thank you. Well, hello there, social media family. Sorry, I'm looking like Don King at the moment. Hairstyle, and I get to look less like Martin Luther as well up here. Back in the day, I had shaved my head much too close, trying to, sport one of the vintage classic pop culture hairstyles. Just as long as nobody else had attempted to scout me, then we're all good in the hood. Yeah. I have yet to just get some hair growth solution to make up for the loss of, or maybe have some artificial, if not natural hair strands surgically implanted up here if and when my money starts to look much better than how it's looking funny at the moment. And moving right along. So much for that icebreaker. And sorry about the rather compulsive physical gesture. But then getting back to the original subject matter, topic of discussion, then in which I have yet to delegate. Is that what I meant to say? No, that's not exactly what I had meant to express of a line of thought. Then in which I will get to, but only after I were to backtrack here with reasons or purposes being, in order to finish up as in complete a former, previous, or prior line of thought from when I myself had last left off. After giving you all that of an icebreaker, then I have yet to ask you all a question of how your persons are doing. Not that I'm bouncing off some word salad off of your eardrums. Can't say the same for a certain political presidential candidate. Yes. But then let me finish up with, that of the basic greeting as we have it, or salutation at hand. Meaning that because if I don't get to the point of what I am trying to say, then what is the point? And therefore, why should I have taken time out or put in the time, however said, or either have tried to think to find time or make time to go about the necessary business at hand to express a line of thought if I myself am going to beat around the bush and not just try to get to the point of what I myself am really trying to say, than to seem as if I am filibustering or trying to think to press for some such time, or rather trying to think to buy time than to be pressing for time, to try to find or make more time so that I myself can from there say something that would be meaningful and at the same time not disclose my own political point of view to any political rivals in the specific details thereof, but to keep them guessing so that from there come the time for me to really test the waters or to try to find out how hot it is in the kitchen and as to what the general voting public's knowledge could have possibly become or be, or may not even have the intellect to decide who is the better political presidential candidate, and therefore could put me much closer to possibly being able to pull a rabbit out of my hat and wave my magic wand in the process of doing so. And hopefully from there, I will become the hoochie mama heifer, the big top cat in the Oval Office, to turn the White House into the best little whorehouse in Texas. What the? Did you just say? What the damn nabbit diggity dog? Run it by me again. What is it? If you did not know what I had said or haven't got a clue, then why bother wasting your time trying to figure it out, especially if I do not have the time nor the mind to repeat myself? And as I could have possibly gone into supposedly sleeper mode when it comes to that coming off as an alternative rendition of Not So Sleepy Joe, like one is trying to hide the goods and at the same time use the DOJ as his own personal black shirts of goons against any political opponents or rivals, in addition to how I could possibly, have in mind to do something similar to him of his means by exercising my rights and or privileges after I had knocked him out of the political campaigning seat for the presidency of the U.S.A. And now I could possibly also be in that much more control of the U.S. military to position some of such as well as the DOJ against not only my political rivals, but against any American citizens who could possibly attempt to threaten my authority or attempt to disrespect it as the Queen of Heaven, as Isis or Ishtar or Jezebel. What did she just say? Anyway, though, in backtracking here, so I can complete a line of thought, then to do an impersonation of, Mrs. Camel Toe with her word salad, the Democratic political presidential candidate for the presidency of the USA. Yes, let me first of all finish up with the salutation, a greeting to you all, being on my social media family. Subscribers and our visitors alike, I feel they associate with and represent my own YouTube social media channel and our chat room. before I were to get to the original subject matter or topic of discussion to be debated of a given argument, with the many different views and opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing some such thereof. You know, then how are you all doing? Hopefully all is well, or all is well that ends well. It's all good in the hood, you know, and moving right along. And whereas the present social media broadcast is where I implore, my fellow Americans of Arab or Muslim or Islamic Americans to cast your ballots, your votes for either Trump or even so STEIN, whereas Trump is of the Republican Party and STEIN is for the Green Party. But don't vote for Harris, that would be your biggest mistake, and especially if she herself becomes the one in control of the nuclear football, then because Putin is not playing with her, and I would hate to see World War III jumping off much sooner, because she would be an inexperienced president of the U.S.A. if she were to somehow wave her magic wand and pull a rabbit out of her head and get into the White House, and be running things, I'd be like, duh. Now we have possibly even worse a dummy in the White House than not so sleepy Joe, And with all that word salad, she's bouncing around. Putin ain't hearing that, Send one of these ICBM missiles over here and show you that he ain't playing with you, and have it hit the White House and rock fire to that, talk about when it was hit during the year of 1812, I mean, you're like nothing more than chop suey to him. He ain't even so much as worried about the president of the People's Republic of China. So, do you think that he's going to take you seriously? I'm sorry if I'm not speaking correct, proper standard English grammar, but then, regardless of whether I'm speaking the King's English or street slang, who will make butt wipe out of you? He had you kissing his butt, to stop him from sending some of them ICBMs over here if you don't know what you're doing, Talk about a Star Trek movie scene. Captain Kirk, I hope you know what you're doing, the son of Captain Kirk, the other Captain Kirk. Let me show you this here. Yeah. Remember, for the remake of speaking upon those matters, now that you come to mind, I'll show you all. Starship, that's Star Trek movie. I'm googling it on myself and movie scenes. But then I since had gotten another backup phone, for some of such my primary one. Let me see here. I think this is it. Let's see. No, that's not it. Still searching for it. Oh, that thought, you all. Yeah. Anyway, though, it just get me to thinking about some of such other. And then this is it. No, that's not it. That's not the one. Let me see here. Well, we'll try this. We'll just try this out for size for now, you all. Check it out. No, it says one minute, hold up. Sorry about that. Let's see. Oh yeah.
Cadet Kirk, evidence has been submitted to this council suggesting that you violated the ethical code of conduct pursuant to Regulation 17.43 of the Starfleet Code. Is there anything you care to say before we begin, sir?
That guy's gay.
Yes, I believe I have the right to face my accuser directly.
On the council, the black dude.
Step forward, please. This is Commander Spock. He is one of our most distinguished graduates. He's programmed the Kobayashi Maru exam for the last 4 years. Commander.
Cadet Kirk, you somehow managed to install and activate a subroutine in the programming code, thereby changing the conditions of the test. Your point being?
In academic vernacular, you cheated.
Let me ask you something I think we all know the answer to. The test itself is a cheat, isn't it? I mean, you programmed it to be unwinnable. Your argument precludes the possibility of a no-win scenario. I don't believe in no-win scenarios. Then not only did you violate the rules, you also failed to understand the principal lesson. Please, enlighten me. You of all people should know, Cadet Kirk. A captain cannot cheat death. I of all people. Your father, Lieutenant George Kirk, assumed command of his vessel before being killed in action, did he not? I don't think you like the fact that I beat your test. Furthermore, you have failed to divine the purpose of the test. Enlighten me again. The purpose is to experience fear. Fear in the face of certain death. To accept that fear and maintain control of oneself and one's crew. This is a quality expected in every Starfleet captain. Excuse me, sir.
We've received a distress call from Vulcan. With our primary fleet engaged in the Laurentian system, I hereby order all cadets to report to Hangar 1 immediately. Dismissed.
What are you doing, Vladimir Putin?
Who was that pointy-eared bastard?
I like
But I like it.
it. You're not gay. I don't think he is either. Anyway, though, just think of the case scenario if I don't want to think of the worst case scenario compared to the best case scenario. Oh, here it is. This is the one I was wanting to share with you all person.
Under permanent court-martial, I order you to explain to me how you were able to beam aboard this ship while moving at warp. Well, don't answer him. You will answer me. I'd rather not take sides. What is it with you, Spock? Your planet was just destroyed, your mother murdered, and you're not even upset. If you are presuming that these experiences in any way impede my ability to command this ship, you are mistaken. And yet you were the one who said fear was necessary for command. Did you see his ship? Do you see what he did? Yes, of course I did. So are you afraid or aren't you? I will not allow you to lecture me about the merits of emotion. Then why do you stop? Step away from me, Mr. What is it like not to feel anger or heartbreak or the need to stop at nothing to avenge the death of the woman who gave birth to you? Back away from me. You feel nothing! It must not even compute for you. You never loved her.
Spock! 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 Stop!
Spock.
Son. Sorry, mother. I don't know what happened. I apologize to one at all. Anyway, though, regardless, I say, state for the record. For all three. As of the present moment in time,
Doctor, I am no longer fit for duty. I hereby relinquish my command based on the fact that I have been emotionally compromised. Please note the time and date in the ship's log.
Please note the time and date in the ship's log. So, I let it be said and stated for it until further notice. Or whereas the black sister in the background was saying, whereas it was saying, whereas before then the crew was saying, and now we don't have a starship commander. Then Captain Kirk was saying, the son of Captain Kirk, oh yes we do. And then whereas it was said from there, oh no, seriously. And then whereas, the black sister in the background was like saying, I hope you know what you're doing. And so That's what, different American citizens would be saying if, you know, what's her name? Kamala Harris gets us involved in a nuclear showdown with Putin, you know, and those Russians, they don't play either as well as us American citizens, you know. Yeah. So for any of you Arab Americans, should I say, or Muslim Americans, or Islamic Muslim Americans, Islamic Americans, not to exercise your right to vote, to cast your ballots, to vote for the political candidate of choice, hopefully for Trump or Stein, much rather than for Harris, and you just think to sit on your votes, sit on your ballots, sit on your votes, sit on your rights to cast your ballots, or sit on your rights and privileges to vote, or cast your ballots or vote for the wrong political presidential candidate, then, then what's the point of any of your persons, qualifying as American citizens to have the right to vote if you're not going to either choose wisely your political candidates or just sit on your votes and waste it? I mean, you may as well be sitting on your votes if you vote for the wrong political candidate. So it would be like as if you did not vote it to begin with, or you did not vote properly but poorly. Understand what I'm saying? Not that I'm employing the use, it's a word salad, you know. Okay. Did you all get into that? I mean, come now, you Islamic, Muslim, or Arab Americans, you're smart, you know. Well, there is smart and dumb people in all races of people's persons. But more than quite a few of you are smart, that's for sure, you know. Yeah. A lot of you are doctors at that and then some. So use your brains. Would you rather have Harris in the White House and then from there have the USA and the whole world for that matter go up a big nuclear mushroom cloud much sooner? Or would you much rather have, another or the other political presidential candidate, you know, and not talking about the third one. What's the name? Somebody named Stein, Jill Stein, not Gloria Stein. But I was like making reference to, would you rather have former ex-president Donald J. Trump in the White House, who would put a photo or picture right in front of a leader of a foreign nation who is misrepresenting, your own religion of Islam as a Muslim who is just mouthing off so much nonsense about holy jihad, you know. And because if your religion says that you must murder or kill people in order to, gain entry into the kingdom of heaven, then, somebody has got the wrong religion, you know, and the wrong God and the wrong concept of how to enter into the kingdom of heaven. I mean, think about it. And whereas if that same knucklehead or bonehead or butthead is attempting to go about, like attempting to threaten the USA up until the time that he comes into contact with a real president, a former ex-president of the USA, who is not backing down, and shows that same airhead a photo or a picture and says that is to this hostile foreign leader, a country or nation overseas, and whereas this foreign leader, supposed so-called leader, is mouthing off about how he himself could possibly have a mind's intentions to contemplate, ordering some kind of a holy Islamic jihad against, another country or nation. Up until the time where, as a former ex-president of the USA, positions in front of him that of a photo or picture being of none other than where he lives, and then tells that same foreign leader that if one single American citizen gets murdered or killed anywhere, wherever there is a consensus, Islamic Muslims, be they citizens of the American Democratic Republic or democracy or not, in regards of whether or not, those Islamic Muslims could possibly contemplate becoming U.S. citizens, then guess where the nukes are going to drop? Do you know that the same Islamic Muslim leader, supposed so-called leader, he has second thoughts about, contemplating committing an Islamic jihad behind what he had witnessed of that picture or photo being, because it was one of his own place of residence at his location where he lives with his family. So you Islamic Americans, you need to get out and vote for Trump, or even so for this Jill Stein, but especially for Trump. That much more for Trump. So think about it, and because your lives are on the line as well as any other person's, regardless of race, walk of life, gender, beliefs, etc. Don't just sit on your butts and say, we're not casting our ballots, none of us, for any of the political candidates. No, sometimes you got to walk by faith. That's what my religion says. The way at one time or another, I myself was supposedly had been or was an Islamic Muslim myself before I had become a Christian. When I get to thinking about it, if I was still an Islamic Muslim or Muslim than a Christian as I am now, I could possibly or would probably vote for Trump, or even so, this Stein person. But I would never vote for Harris with her word salad nonsense, and she don't stand a chance against Putin. And we would be in a worst case scenario if she herself becomes or be the one in control of the nuclear football. If somehow she manages to wave her magic wand and pull a rabbit out of her hat and become commander-in-chief, holding that nuclear football to be in control of for our own democratic political democracy. If she has the authority to give orders to our own U.S. military, and don't know the first thing about warfare, whereas at least former ex-president Donald J. Trump had went to a military academy as a student, and what has she studied other than how to be pimped by Johns and tricks, to do the catwalk in the red light district, a whole strip here and there, to collect her fee for performing tricks otherwise, and now she's attempting to trick or fool the American public with her word salad. If $1 is taken from $5 and you pocket it, and then you loan another dollar to somebody else, but then you want to put still another dollar in a piggy bank, and then you notice that you have less than what you had before. How can you double that and get your loan back much sooner, and at the same time get another person to loan you something, and in due regard and reference to those matters of a circumstance, manage to somehow catch that other person while one's sleeping and get some additional funds, with or without one's knowledge, whereas you could go about putting one in a trance and hypnotizing a person to see the fruit of one's labors could be multiplied by just being able to make oneself available for the greater cause, regardless of whether or not that other person could possibly think that you're not all that cracked up for what you are or who you are supposed to be, especially if you could possibly be some kind of closet modern day King Herod who decides that just out of the blue you want to finally think to go to a church service to convince others that you have nothing against the Creator, but you're all for him, and that you're not some witch Jezebel who has materialized from ancient times in human form so that you could get that money and drain the American economy dry, as you can make the U.S. Treasury your own personal piggy bank, and use your superiors, DOJ, as your own black shirts of goons against any political rivals, and likewise the U.S. military against American citizens, and still be getting bank and throw money wherever, provided that you can get it back and remain a fat cat in the Oval Office, even before you were to become the head honcho running this big corporation we call the United States of America, being a which is just that, you know, a Fortune 500 company being one of the biggest ones yet, pretending to have become or be some kind of a democratic republic of democracy. So I'm not about to repeat myself. All I know is that I got 5 on it, provided I give it to the right presidential political candidate. I asked my brother who he voted for, my own living flesh and blood brother. He wouldn't tell me, you know. I told him quite frankly, I voted for Trump, man. So why are you making this so much as if I got to have some high security clearance to get the answer from you? So now, like, I'm like saying, where's your leap of faith? You know? Then something tells me that your Christianity is not all that it's cracked up to be. Then on this last, I like to say, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, then think to profess faith in him now so you could acquire the only fire insurance against the lake of fire down hell and could become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven and don't have to worry about some such place of torment otherwise, but could become a citizen thereof the kingdom of heaven. And you can still be blessed down here upon the planet Earth, hopefully become a blessing on the others while you're here by sharing with them the gospel message of salvation of our Lord and Savior, the Christ. You all take care and be safe. We out. Peace.